Well,
Two
I ain't gonna lie,
C's.
I'm here for it.
We got 2 C's and 2J's.
Oh, we
I'm
do.
saying
Look at that.
Jazz and these.
That's dope. What?
You did this the other day with Jr.
I did.
She said we got 3 J's.
Hey, gang. But are y'all ready to get started?
We ready.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us. This is the Was It Good Though podcast. We are a movie and TV show review podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Jazz. I am joined with Jason. Jason, how are you feeling this evening?
I'm good. Shell shocked. How you feeling?
I'm good as well. We have 2 special guests, returning guests. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Let me start with Chris first. Chris, how are you feeling?
I'm doing good. It's Friday, payday. It's good. It's nice out. It's nice. Thank y'all for having me again.
Of course. Thank you for joining us. And we got Crystal in the other corner. Crystal, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You know, same reasons. It's Friday. It's payday. Like, let's get into some stuff, you know?
I heard hers. I heard her air horns. Just
I was hoping that you wouldn't bring that up because I heard it too. And I was thinking, oh, that's the method I'm going to start using. But I wasn't going to share that out loud. But since you want to be difficult.
Try it now. Let's see if it works. Do it. Good job.
Was it there? I wasn't trying to put too much umph into it just in case if it didn't work.
Oh,
got you.
But y'all heard it. So, yes. Okay. Winning already. Well, everybody, welcome to our episode 65. We are reviewing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Yes, this movie just recently dropped. So chances are, I believe when this episode drops, it will still be in the theaters. Or unless somebody get the streams real quick. But either way, this is your spoiler alert. So if you have not seen this movie, please be sure to pause the pod, go watch it, come back and listen to what we had to say about it. I think this is going to be a very fun episode. For everybody listening and returning, please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, all of those things. And let's get into it. Jason, let me see. Which color are you rocking today? Which purple? Okay.
Got the Donatello gang going on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not my favorite color, but I do look good in it. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nobody even asked that, but
sound like hate to me. I don't know. Sound like hate to me. So Crystal, start off with you. Yes. What was your first interaction with the Ninja Turtles? Are you familiar with them? Was this your first run-in?
So I've heard of them before when I was younger, but I didn't watch the shows. I'm assuming it was. I'm assuming it was TV shows. Didn't watch them. I watched the one. It was a live action one that came out maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. I watched that one. That was my first time actually watching them. Mm-hmm. Wasn't my favorite, but then this one came along and here we are. Gotcha. I think I'm a fan.
Okay, I like it. Jazz, what about you?
I'm going to say when I was younger, I saw the first live action that came out in the 90s, and me and my brother used to play it on our video game. I think it was our Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Or unless it was his Sega. One of them.
Either one.
But, yeah. So.
What about you, Chris?
So my older brother, TJ, is a huge Turtles fan. Loves them. So kind of just... being with just kind of listening to him go crazy about it. But in terms of my own actual like Jazz, I think that movie came out in 90. I think I could be wrong, but in the early 90s. And then Jazz would probably know about this, but you remember Adventure Landing up in North Carolina? I'm not sure if other states have it.
Yes.
Remember that? They would have the arcade game, so I would play that. So the movie and the arcade game was my 2 ventures into the turtle world.
Oh yeah, the arcade game, you play with the 4 different people. Yeah. I think for me it was at Chuck E. Cheese. So
that sounds
Chuck E. Cheese, it was fun. A lot of fun, like Double Dragon, all them little games like that back in the 90s. Hella fun. I think my first run in, I had a videotape. It probably was something like the 1980 TV show, where they was doing. I don't know if it was just a tape that was bought for me but I've always been a fan of them. So we're 2023. It got introduced. I was super excited for it, just based off the trailer. I did watch the trailer when it initially came out. So I know, Jazz. I went against my no trailer rule. I know. I want to see. I want to see. So this is dope. But of course, it's opening scene. We see a tactical team that's together. I'm like, damn, they already fit to get with the Turtles. The Turtles been going crazy somewhere, but definitely that wasn't what they were doing. They were going for a scientist. I feel like this is a little bit different backstory, possibly, to what most people may be familiar with. Jazz, how you feeling when you see this tactical team run up in this man's home?
I was thinking, since he had surveillance cameras in there, that he saw them, but he still seemed to be moving a bit slow, talking to his pet fly mutant. And I was like, I need you to react faster than this, because like you could see him on the cameras, like they was like, we about to come in, but no, I was curious like where it was going, because in some of those vials you saw other creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, some of them were enemies to the turtles. So I was just like, okay, how is this going to pan out? And he out of here died, still had a vial in his hand. Shout out, he must have that good product to where it wouldn't shatter. Let me ask y'all this. In this scene when he blew, the doctor blew up and they were just like, there's nothing left here, and the vial went down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
It was glowing, right? Or was my vision just completely off? It was glowing like a nice bright green.
It was to me.
How did they not see that? How did they not think, oh, let me get that vial out of his hand? I was just like, I
don't think they really cared, because they was recklessly shooting in that room.
Jason, it was a giant mutant fly moving around. So y'all not gonna, I mean, shoot too. I would probably shot one of my own people.
Nah, Jazz, I thought that too when it felt a little bit convenient that it just rolled past them. I don't remember it glowing. I thought maybe it was like maybe a bright green. But I can't remember. I could be wrong though. I could be misremembering. But I thought that too. Like they just gonna ignore this. So I thought that too.
I don't think it was like glowing.
I didn't think.
Oh, go ahead, Crystal.
No, I was just gonna say I didn't think they really knew what they were looking for necessarily.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they were looking for something bigger than what it obviously was and how it was packaged.
Yeah,
so.
That's fair.
So and then kind of so Stockman's out of here. So I'm almost thinking like, was he going to be the evil person throughout the story? But then you kind of have that, I guess Chris will always say A side, B side storyline. So you have Cynthia Ucher, where she looks like she's the mad scientist that was looking to use this mutant power to weaponize it. Which, like I said, I love when I guess they subvert it, where you following one thing, but it's a completely different thing later on down the run. But she kind of gave me Amanda Waller vibes. We all getting that, like Suicide Squad, that team to a certain extent.
Yeah,
100%.
And then we get
she was on a computer screen.
Yeah, basically. That's I mean, in most of the cartoons, you only see Amanda on the computer. They just really start getting into giving her like action scenes and whatnot, so people can see. But I mean, you got Viola Davis. You gotta give her. You gotta put out there.
You gotta use her. Don't just have her on the screen.
She got a kid in a new show and everything. I'm like, man, wait a minute. But we get our introduction to the Turtles. Chris, we see the Turtles going across the rooftops. I know you said you were super excited with seeing them. How you feeling about this introduction to the Turtles?
I thought it was great. I thought they did a really good job of giving them, and in the comics they do in the cartoons, but giving them very distinctive personalities. And I didn't feel like they were like cookie cutter, like what you see like maybe in typical TV shows where you might have like the clown and the super serious one. Because even Leonardo, he's obviously the straight man, but he wasn't like OD serious, So I really enjoyed, like, from the jump. I was like, okay, like I like their personalities. I like that these are obviously teens, and it hooked me like that, seeing them. Like I really enjoyed watching them from from the first scene.
What about you, Crystal?
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Them specifically in the grocery store, like basically stealing all of their supplies. You know, I was like, okay, this lady clearly she's a terrible clerk because she doesn't know what's going on. Right, I'm sure they were not that quiet. Like I know they're ninjas and I know they're quick, but I just feel like they were the only people in there and some noise was happening. So you know, it's just like seeing them get away with it. It was a fun little journey.
And what about you, Jazz?
Good, I like
watching this scene.
I just like Crystal, like they was definitely stealing, and I was just like, okay. But also, I thought it was cool, like when you got the introduction to them, they seem like they're about to go on a mission. To where it's like, okay, they're already established. It's been 15 years later, and then they were just like, look at you try to have picking on Leo, like your voice is all serious, like he was just try to amp us up to go to the store. So I thought it was really funny, like their different personalities, turtle-nalities.
Ooh, I like that.
That was off top of the dome.
That was off top of the dome. Don't say shit about my head. Don't say my head is big.
I'm not.
I gotta be ready, Jason, because you definitely did earlier this week. So I gotta cut you off at the knees. Right, Crystal. Like I'm not leaving at the open. She said
PTSD.
Oh, my bad. Turtle stress syndrome. I thought we were still going with the turtle jokes. My bad.
Ooh, that'd have been nice.
No, it wouldn't, Chris.
Listen, I gave you credit. I gotta give my boy credit too.
So within this movie, I did notice like there was a lot of pop references within it. Like a lot of different celebrities. They went DC, Marvel. They were just jumping all over the place. Like they were, but it's crazy because they kind of hidden. But I guess oftentimes when you kind of away from stuff, you pick up a lot of knowledge, just being hid away.
They was out here stealing, so you know they was listening to some Drake and Beyonce.
Right.
Like, what?
Wait, does Drake and Beyonce influence thievery?
Nah, but if I was stealing somebody's stuff, I would have one of their tracks on.
What would be your Drake song? No, what Beyonce song are you stealing to? I'm not doing Drake for you. What Beyonce song are you
for me?
Mm-hmm.
Run the World.
Oh, okay.
I can see it. I can see it.
That's clever. I like that.
Chris, what Beyonce song are you robbing to?
Ooh. Partition. With that beat drop?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm not.
With that Jeep drop.
Chris, I'm not gonna lie. When the beat drop, it make you want to commit a crime, like hit somebody over the head with a bat and then take their money.
I ain't gonna lie. The first time I heard that beat drop, like it kind of like it changed my life a little bit. I was driving a company car and like that beat, I was listening to the radio and I'm like, oh shit, like it was fire. That was a moment for sure.
Look at what y'all want to do. And she talking about sucking dick. Crystal, it's over with, Jazz.
Yeah,
It's been a wrap. It's been a wrap. It's been a wrap. Crystal, what Beyonce? Crystal, what Beyonce song are you riding?
Can I pick a duet? Can I do
on the run? How should I get to you? You doing that?
Love of the Club.
On the run.
That's wild.
On the Run.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's a perfect song.
I see. All right, Kristen.
Jason, what's yours?
All right, Kristen.
Right, trying to get out of it.
We moving now.
Jason,
we moving
right wait, we still here, Jason.
Yeah. What's yours, bro?
She know why. Yeah.
Did she take yours?
Yes.
Take yours?
Yes.
Damn.
Ooh.
So that means you gotta come up with.
Though. We all talking about stealing.
We are.
Hey, Crystal, I like the energy.
You know
I'm going 03 Bunny and Clyde. Beyonce, that account.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
On the Run is already.
She do got some stealing music actually.
Spoken for.
Like she actually do. I ain't think about that because On the Run, 03 Bonnie and Clyde, like those are definitely some con artist songs for sure.
It is. But of course, Leo being the stickler of the group, it seems, he's the one that's ready to go home. And they like, man, let's stay out. Let's go kick it. Like we can go, and they go watch Ferris Bueller's Day Out. Crystal, I'm not gonna talk to you about this one. Jazz and Chris.
What's up?
So I do have a question. It's gonna go into a question. What did y'all think about this scene? Oh, what's up?
I was gonna say, can I pull a Crystal and be out of that as well? Because I've never seen that movie.
Wow, y'all never seen it? Wow.
God.
I've seen it.
Okay.
I know the reference, but I've never seen it.
So
Wow,
look,
that's
okay,
an
so
easy question.
okay. So how about this? I wasn't going to
What's the
ask.
reference?
I wasn't going to ask. So she
Oh,
like
okay.
she just know what the movie is. I
Oh,
wasn't going to ask anything specifically
got
to
it.
the movie. I was going to more so ask. I just said no Crystal because it's a classic white movie. I'm not doing that with
Yeah.
myself. I was going to say, what did y'all think about this scene in the park? You know, I kind of made. I want to have a moment like this, like you know, one of y'all shows, Insecure. That's one of the biggest ones that I think it was like the first time I seen like on TV where people are in the
Mhm.
park. What did y'all think about this scene of them in the park? Because at this point we kind of get, I ain't gonna say backstory, but we kind of get the maybe the heart of the movie from here. Could you kind of see where the I guess the issue with them versus the world. How did y'all feel about that? I'll start with you, Chris, this time.
I loved it. Like kind of like you're saying, like I think the movie starts off really well. It starts off dark in the first scene because I wasn't expecting like there to be death, and then it gets really fun in the grocery scene. And like Jazz, like I was ready for them to have a mission, and I think they did a nice bait and switch. So I was like, oh, this is a fun movie. The personalities are engaging. Like I love the chemistry between the brothers, and then just seeing like how lonely they actually are and how they're really just longing to be regular teenagers. I was gonna say kids, but I guess they're regular teenage turtles or whatever. It was like damn, like I really like it really kind of tugged at my heartstrings a little bit because they just want to be normal and they're lonely and they're stuck in a sewer and they're seeing all these people, they're seeing couples, they're seeing other friends, and it's like it kind of feels they're having so much fun with themselves, but it's like yeah, but they still want to like be out in the world. So I really like this part of the movie was honestly one of my favorite actually. Like I
Gotcha.
really love this.
Well, like what I saw up there, Jazz. What about you?
Uh, Chris pretty much took all the food off the plate.
You got everything.
Everything. But no, I thought, damn, did he leave anything? I definitely enjoyed this scene.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
So okay,
My
so how
bad. I'm
about okay,
sorry.
so no, you perfectly fine. So that'll be a way for me to go to my actual question. So they were like, hey, is this what high school is really like? Is this what so do y'all remember what y'all thought high school was going to be like? And did it live up to the expectation? I'm starting with you, Crystal, because we went to the both of the same schools, like, you know, so make
I
sure.
don't know what I thought like high school was gonna be actually. I know I'm gonna be with my friends because up until this point I literally have been with the same people. So it's just like I know not gonna be like, oh my gosh, I ain't got no friends because I do. So I knew that part was cool. I just didn't know like what my activity or my thing was gonna be because I knew it wasn't going to be cheerleading like my mother and sister did. I knew that, but I didn't know what my thing was.
Your mom was a cheerleader too?
She was.
That's lit.
I didn't know that. I knew that. I mean, you showed me a picture of your sister, but I didn't know you about you. Chris,
Mhm.
what about you?
High school was nothing like what I thought it would be. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I went in there thinking we was gonna be partying every weekend. We was gonna be lit.
damn.
I'm
What?
I was like 13, 14 and dumb. I'm
Yeah.
thinking it was gonna be lit because I guess like around so I started high school in '05. So like up to that point in time, like I guess movies like American Pie, different
Oh
TV
man,
shows.
that's
Interesting.
Yeah. So
greatest, the greatest high school movie ever.
Man, what? And so all the movies, I'm just thinking that like it's gonna be just this non-stop party, and like school was gonna be second. So you can imagine my disappointment
Oh
because it was
yeah,
nothing like that.
they
I
get
got
Like
a
it
you with
wasn't a
those
question.
bad
questions.
experience, but it was still not like that.
Was college what you expected when you went? Because that seemed like my expectation for college more than high school.
No, looking back, I guess I have too high of expectations because again, I thought college was gonna be like I'm looking at stuff like the real world, and like I'm like, okay, this shit's gonna be like
Oh,
lit.
damn.
I know, I
Yo.
know. Like I really was just
That's
like, it's gonna
wild.
be a party
Yeah.
every night. And like these experiences like weren't bad at all, but it just was not like what I thought at all. So you can imagine my disappointment.
It wasn't lit. It wasn't lit.
It
What
had
about
its
you?
moments.
What about you, Jazz?
So I did not have that high of an expectation for high school because, like me, a lot of friends that I went to middle school with also went to my high school. So I was like, okay, I ain't gonna have to worry about that. But then once you get to high school, people flip like it ain't nobody business. You're like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
we were supposed to be cool. You done been in high school for 1 week and bitch done changed. So it was the first 2 years of high school. I'm not gonna lie, it was a struggle.
I get it.
I
But
feel that.
I wasn't thinking I was partying or nothing. That's crazy.
That's
what happened when you start smoking at 7.
Oh no, I did. It was 8. I was 8. I did hit that. I forgot I did say that. Yeah, I was 8, but I only hit it once. Like, and that was it. But yeah, maybe it was that cigarette. Maybe it was.
Man, you know what? Like, I think for me, like, I was just like I was like a loner. I'm like, I didn't really come into myself until like later in life. So high school, I guess it was more so what I expected. Like, I played football, but I wasn't good at it. At least not when I started, because my mom kept me out of it. So when I was a freshman, I played, and like I played a position that I shouldn't have been playing. So when Chris said he was dumb, I chose a position that was non-existent in the school, in the system that we played. So I should have switched it, but I was lazy because I could have switched it and I could have got to a position where I would have been pretty good at, but I didn't want to do that. So I thought I was gonna be this jock, kicking it, get the girls, you hanging out with all the different people. But I was just Jason with a football jersey. So I was just walking around by myself, still not hanging out with the girls, not talking to girls. It was none of that. All that shit was non-existent. I lived when I was in high school. I lived for the weekends. Like that's when the turn up. That's when the turn up happened for me.
I couldn't go to none of that.
You didn't go to them. You didn't go to them. Wow, remember we had the no ID parties. So like, yeah.
I couldn't go to none of that.
Lit.
Monday through Friday was my time to shine. Okay.
So the turtles, they make it back to the house. Of course, Splinter is questioning, where they were, what's going on, and Leo, he rats them out. Then we get this. I guess we get a little backstory to why the turtles, or why Splinter is why he is. And come to find out, he takes them to New York. In New York, they ass. Was this an expectation for you, Jed? Like, do you think they got treated this poorly when they came to the surface world?
I wasn't shocked. Like this, I mean, y'all walk around New York, a giant rat with some baby turtles. What? Like what? But it was a while. Somebody was like, "It's just a mask. It's just a mask," and he just touches them. And I'm sitting here like, that's assault. Keep your hands to yourself. But it's like everybody's reaction I thought was hilarious, but I also appreciate the artistic details this movie has been providing, because you saw it in the first scene with the doctor. Like, I knew he was black and I didn't even have to know who the voice was, but we already knew who the voice is, the actor for that. But I was like, hair was curly, like the details of drawing in this movie, absolutely love. But I mean, I understood why those people reacted the way they did. Just like when Superfly did the same thing. I'm like, y'all are so in tune with modern day media, like nothing online would think maybe I shouldn't go up there as a giant rat. But
I mean, he can't just switch. He can't switch his appearance.
But no, this way he should have did. He should have went out during Halloween.
Okay, I'm with you.
Because Halloween, they normally celebrate it for a couple of days in New York. Because I remember we kind of discussed that during our Scream 6 review. So Splinter could have had a few days to take the kids out and let them know what was up. He just picked the wrong day.
Man, when it comes to kids, you just kind of just get out there. Crystal, what did you think about this transformation of the ooze? We see the beginning, the ooze went to the drain, but we see what the actual ooze did. What did you think about the transformation of this group with that ooze?
Say something. I mean, hey, they fucked around and found out, in my opinion. I don't think they were supposed to talk. I don't know, life-size rat, baby turtles that are growing up to be teenage human boys. I don't really know. It's a lot going on. And like, was he using his DNA? Like, what do we know what the ooze is in any iteration of this? Because how did they get human characteristics?
That's a good question. Maybe I would imagine someone in the comics, maybe they explain it, but I'm not that deep in the lore. That's a question for my brother TJ. He would have the answer.
TJ, let us know.
Yeah, I'm a texter.
It probably came from what's his name? The doctor. Stockman. I think I believe it would have come from Stockman. But there's no true way to know what he spliced that DNA with. But I know he just said he different things, and I mean he wanted a family, so I would assume so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so just a little weirded out about human animals. It's a little different.
And then he began to show them how to do karate, which was kind of wild. He just pulled the little videotape. I remember I was a kid. I had a tape, but it was Tommy Oliver from Power Rangers. It was him teaching people how to do kung fu. A little.
Are you serious?
Karate. Mm-hmm.
He's a martial artist, right? Like, I think he's an actual like high up there.
Yeah, he was.
Interesting.
He was. R.I.P. to my guy. That was my guy.
Oh yeah, he did pass. Damn, R.I.P.
Did y'all think it was weird that Master Splinter had a fro?
Hey.
Did it catch y'all eye? Because when I was seeing it, I was like, all right, I see. It had texture. Oh, okay. But did it grab your eye?
Is Splinter black? Is he black?
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's a rat, but sometimes you could tell some people are black or not. Like Piccolo in Dragon Ball Z. Like, that's a black man.
He looked like the Doctor.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was they clone Tyrone type stuff going on, and that just was a part of the splicing.
Rat with the fro. Oh. Damn. You know what? All right.
So we catch up with I guess the plot of the story. We have these guys, they setting up a mission to steal a radioactive storage unit. I do feel like this was a nice little heist mission. Krista, you are the Fast and Furious aficionado on this podcast today. How did you feel about this heist that they had?
Well, I had a few problems with it, to be honest, because I don't like how quick the police got there. Like, one was chilling in the alley, but then there were like 20, 30 cop cars like blocking them off. Where did y'all come from, and why is there no traffic? I just don't believe that they got mobilized that quickly to put up a barrier. And another thing, Superfly, he decided to like take I'm not gonna go too far here, but he took the truck. And then he just kind of just dropped it whenever he got to his location. Sir, that's radioactive. What are we doing? Do you care about your product or no? That's all I got to say.
I mean,
but it was cute,
Fair.
Now, remember, he had Stockman brain, so I'm pretty sure he knew what he couldn't do. So I mean, he was stealing the stuff because he knew how it was going to work once he got it all together. Yeah, so I would assume.
And it might have been
anything radioactive. I'm not shaking it up.
It might have been made from the same product as that first vial in the scene that didn't crack.
That didn't crack with it.
Oh, shatterproof glass.
Man, but we catch back up. Well, because this happens, well, of course we find out every time Superfly sees anybody that sees him, he kills him, which we know why later on down the line. But he definitely got rid of the guys who, I guess, botched this plan. But that kind of let me. I wonder if they was following it though, because I'm with you as far as how they get there that quick. But it's like they was actually set up that way. Like they were set up in different spots. Because as soon as they left out of there, the one cop in the alley, like I understand because he was speeding. It's like that'll be they got to be like you see it's like that all the time. Like how'd they get caught? He was speeding. Damn, that was the one thing he didn't do. He covered every track and he got caught speeding. But then Cynthia, she looking over the work, she see all the work is that they stole 15 years ago, kind of destroyed, broken, and she kind of see the fly, and she like, you know what, put a tracker on the stuff, which I'm like, well, based on just how smart these people are, I don't think a tracker would work in this instance, but yeah. But we see, catch up. It's a month later. The fly was real diligent with these things because like he really slow poking as far as getting all this stuff taken care of, because it's been a whole month since this has happened now that the kids are off punishment.
I mean, he probably didn't see a rush. You know, you got to make sure your crew is on board with you destroying all the humans. So you just got to give them some time and get your pieces together.
So the kids are on the roof, playing like typical. This made me think about Fruit Ninja on the game.
Yeah.
When they on top of the roof cutting the watermelons, and they still going in on Leo because he obviously a rat, but he's also I don't know what
no respect.
I don't know what it was about Leo. Like was it just? Do you think he was just like the most disciplined out of the group, or what was it about him that was just so so against the surface world?
I think he was just following his dad. So I think that, and I could be wrong, but I think in the comics, I think he's the one that is the most loyal to their dad. So sometimes you have that one kid who is like, nah, let's do what our parents say. They kind of like almost mirror or mimic him. So that's what I was taking, that he was almost just like, our dad knows best and we should listen, and like just really following them and not really thinking for himself. So that's how I took that.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. Of course, they hit the watermelon. But next time he said, let's do it with ninja stars. This seems like a jazz thing.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So they want to throw ninja stars at a watermelon as Mikey holds it above his head. They throw a ninja star, but of course one of them goes too far and hits a young lady in the head.
A helmet will always save your life, because imagine if she didn't have that on.
Ooh.
That would have been an amazing
different
scene.
story.
A whole different story.
Yeah, that would have been.
It would have been but now for some reason Leo now had all his hormones have now rushed to him to help this beautiful young black girl at the bottom. Jazz, what do you think about this scene of Leo finally breaking all the rules?
Right. He was just like, forget everything that our dad taught us. He's like, maybe we should go make sure she's good, when everybody else was like, yeah, we leaving. They was like, we're trying to get something to eat. Right. It was like, it's our fault that her scooter got stolen. He was like, well, we tried to tell her, but she was moving too slow. So I thought he was, because he was like, all right, I'm going against them. I have to go save this beautiful black queen. And he just bounces. His brother's just like, all right, well, now we got to go do this. But I thought this whole scene was funny, but then they get to the warehouse. Just trying to be smooth, real quiet and all of that. And it's just like, nah.
I maybe need to pick up a comic book, because so one thing gets addressed here, but there's two things here I want to talk about. Is one, why the freak does Leonardo have swords? Like, who is he hitting with these swords? Like you would think if he was hitting people with a katana, like body parts is falling. Like should this be like rated R? Then part two, which is get addressed, Dunny is like, why am I in a fight and why do I only have a big stick? Like, who thought this was okay for a person to have?
So one thing about that, so there's reasoning. So with Leonardo, with him having the sword, it's because it's representative of their personality. So Splinter, he gives them all a sword based on like lessons they need to know. So Leonardo, he's teaching him that sometimes violence is necessary. Raphael, they didn't write him in this, but he's like crazy violent and almost psychotic. So they give him a non-lethal weapon, because like, yo, you got to chill out. Donnie, they give him the most basic like a what's it called, the stick, because he relies too much on his gadgets. Yes, the staff, thank you, because he relies too much on his gadgets, and they want him to just sometimes like not like learn how to fight, don't just use gadgets. And then Mikey, they give him the nunchucks because he's the youngest, the most spontaneous and wild, but like if you're wild with nunchucks, you'll be out of control. So then Splinter is teaching him like, you got to be under control and you can't always just be freestyling. So they're all kind of representative of like what Splinter feels like they need. But they didn't address that here, because I think that's more so when they get a little bit, I want to say older, but I guess they don't age. It seems like they age, but they're teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So maybe they age differently as
or
turtles.
they just get more mature.
But yeah, thank you. They get more mature in their personality, because Raphael in the comics is like really, really aggressive. And like he and Leonardo, they go at it a lot, like to the point to where they
Yeah,
really beefing, you know.
yeah.
So I'm glad they didn't show this here though. I'm glad that it was good chemistry
Eh,
and it was good vibes.
this is an introduction. I think we will get there because there was
I
some
agree.
stuff when Leonardo was saying, and like Ralph was the one that I always kind of challenged him. Like it was
Hmm.
playful, but eventually, if something actually was going on, I feel like it'll actually get a bit dark. Which is, I feel like you
Hmm.
would say something, Jazz.
I was gonna say the live action in the '90s definitely reflected
Hmm.
Ralph's aggressive personality because at one point he was about to leave. So I was curious if they were gonna show some of that here, and like y'all, I'm glad they kind of didn't because it's
Hmm.
just the playful. You might have a disagreement, but nothing on the level of like y'all can all die.
Yeah.
Even though he said, "I don't want y'all to be the last faces I see before I die," but no,
There could have been a callback to that
Yeah.
moment to a certain extent, but I do feel like they'll get into it because even with the cartoon,
Hmm.
like the most recent one that was on Nickelodeon, they fight all the time. Like
Hmm.
between it, Leo, I think always kind of gets the best of them in those fights, but I do think like them two they always go back and forth.
I have a
Um,
question.
oh yes.
Does their relationship, and it might just be me, but I see them as Leo being Cyclops and Ralph being Wolverine,
You
thinking
can
about
see
the
that.
comparison with
Yeah.
X-Men to them.
Yeah. I've never thought about that parallel, but I think that's spot on accurate actually. Because Ralph wants to do his own thing, and then Leo was like, "Nah, like we're a team. Like there's a
Right.
certain way to do things. Like let's be like under control." Where Ralph, he just wants to go in and just be as violent as possible, create as much damage, like Wolverine. So that's actually I've never thought about that. That's good.
And where they go, where we see what Ralph aggressive, out of control looks like. He goes in, slips, throws his dagger, and it hits Gunny right in the leg. This gave me a lot of Ace Ventura vibes. I think there was the second one when he get stabbed in the leg by Tommy Davis, and he's just screaming, looking at the leg. But Chris, what do you think about this first mission that they go on together?
We're still in the garage, right?
Roger.
So to me it felt like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where at first, like on his first team mission with Peter, he didn't really know what he was doing, and so you could tell they really didn't know what they was doing, and it worked out for him in the end.
Right.
But it's like y'all got all these skills, but y'all really don't know how to apply them when it's time. So yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
they
what
don't know.
about you? Go ahead, Jazz.
I was gonna say piggyback on that. They don't know how to work as a team. So it's just like they're all out of sync.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, and Leo's trying to lead them and guide them while they're doing it. He was just like, I ain't listening to you, but I still got him down. But then he ended up getting hit. So it's wow.
Yeah, I feel like that was just more so, if anything, like I got your back type of thing, but like working as a unit to a certain extent. Because I mean, like I said, I was just go back to Dragon Ball. Vegeta and Goku still don't know how to work as a team, and we know how long they've been at it with each other. What about you, Chris? What do you think about this scene with them finally getting a do
I loved it.
fisticuffs?
It was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I loved it. It was funny. Like it really actually made me laugh just seeing that like them trying to work as a team, but they obviously have no idea what they're doing. They're in over their heads. And like it's just they just so goofy. And like I thought that it's sometimes like when you see some superhero shows where someone doesn't know what they're doing, like it ends like really badly. So it was good to see that it worked out, but it still was like, wow, we could have done this a lot better. But I thought like the action scenes were good and they mixed it with the humor really well. So I love this scene.
Yeah, I think Kick Ass is like one of my favorite. I'm trying to get it together, and they fail miserably at their first way out. Like he gets stabbed or shot, something like he gets like brutally in. But every time he goes out, he gets brutally injured. You should say something, Jazz?
I was gonna say, the first mission is always the hardest.
Yep.
You're gonna get your ass beat, but you know what? Do better next time. But I thought like at the beginning of the scene when they were about to start fighting, I love that they did the "Go Ninja Go" song
In the
playing at
car.
the beginning. I was just like,
That's from the movie, right? The '90 movie.
yeah,
Was that the one when they sung it like they was in the concert singing that?
I believe so. When they was fighting Shredder,
Gotcha.
and he somehow was defeated because a bunch of logs fell on him. I thought he was so powerful. This guy.
But of course, April, she makes it. She, she begins to speak with them. She gets freaked out, but then she was like, "Well, y'all did help me, so I'm gonna chill out. Can we sit, and have a conversation so I can figure out some more information?" What did y'all think about this actual conversation between April? The first conversation between April and the Turtles. Chris, what did you think about that?
I mean, I thought she handled it well, like all things considered. Like you just seeing like 4 turtles, just like mutant turtles just there. So I mean, she was initially freaked out, which is kind of to be expected. But I think she handled it well. I also thought that the fact that she was so willing to like listen to them and like at least like have a conversation with them, that gave me insight that she was probably a loner and looking for friends. Like I was like, okay, what kind of person would want to be cool with some turtles? And I was like, okay, she might not have a lot of friends where she's at, because that's wild. That's kind of wild. So that was like, okay, like she might, I don't want to say lame, but we obviously see what happens later on to where like, yeah, she doesn't have a lot of friends. But I like this scene.
Wait,
It was,
you wouldn't be cool
was
with talking tortoises?
I would be scared. I'm not even gonna lie. Like if I see that in real life, like that's why what Jazz was saying, that like when people were freaked out about by Splinter, like I get that. Like you just see like a big rat with a fro, like I'd be a little nervous too. It's 4 turtles. I'd be a little nervous. And then they start talking, like, and I feel like that's the part, like, did they address that they were talking, or is it just like they're turtles? Like I don't even know if anyone was like, yo, why y'all talking? So it was a lot. So she handled it well, all things
I
considered.
mean, they say it's a mutation, so I mean, that would have to explain part of what they explained it to her. Like it's a speed run, but they definitely explain where everything comes from.
So basically, April was telling them about humans like Chris that they wouldn't get into.
It's like, yeah, nah, nobody wouldn't fuck with y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. A talking turtle, like, nah, that ain't.
It's not
It.
that I
She
wouldn't
kept
fuck
it
with it. I would give them a
honest.
chance. I would give them a chance. Like after I got past my initial shock, and once I see that, okay, they cool, especially if they did save me, I would give them a chance. But initially, you're like, yeah, like if a turtle walks in right now, like I'm gonna be scared. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'll be scared.
I'm not a big animal person, so yeah, I'm definitely moving towards the exit if I see some animals going into any place.
It's not gonna look like them.
If
It's not.
though, I'm jetting.
Yo, wait. If an animated turtle came into your room, you're running away?
Not running away?
We're not talking about
anything,
the animated. What if the live action version that come into your room?
So the live action, them motherfuckers is scary. I'm not gonna lie. They're like crazy scary. But if it was the animated one, I might be like, wait, what is happening? I might not run.
I'll be like, this multiverse shit is real.
Yeah.
I would be tripped out.
Nah, man, I ain't trying to.
Yeah, I'm getting out of Dodge. Yeah, I'm probably.
I'm with it.
But I got a question in this scene though. Did April remind y'all of Fury? I immediately thought of Fury in this when Fury was talking to Talos on the train. When Talos was like, the humans will accept us, and he's like,
I got
nah, they not.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, that was me just thinking too. But y'all see the connection though, right?
I get it. I get where you was going. I'm not going with you, but I get it.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
So one thing I do appreciate though is I thought it was going to be like one of the problems in the movie was going to be April using them, and then they finding out that she's just using them, and that was something that they were going to piggyback on. But I feel like it was open. You use me, I use you. We both can benefit from this mutually. Can benefit from this relationship, and especially when she links back up with them and she takes them to the school. She kind of shows them who she is, and they kind of figured out just playing around with different things. Chris, what did you think about this scene as they're in the actual school? And she is Puke Girl.
Did you say Chris or Crystal?
Crystal. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you said Chris.
I thought he said.
Could you ask that question? Can we lead into that question?
Okay, gotcha. So, with them being with it not being a secret that they're using each other. Like they're both mutually using each other to benefit in this. It's almost like a love don't cost a thing type situation. In a certain, what, you don't think so?
That seems like such an old movie to reference.
That's a good movie though.
For who? We old niggas. Everybody on this bitch over 30.
Yeah, true. True.
Like, relax. But your love.
What?
And we all aging ourselves though. Yeah, we all aging ourselves.
Am I
Y'all
right?
older than me,
Is that it, Crystal? What you think? Was it? You think it's a mutually beneficial situation? Like,
Yes, yes, it is. I do think it is one. But so she was a loner, but she was a loner that looked for adventure. And so they gave her adventure. So I think that's probably why she was so open to them. Like, I feel like something in the back of her mind was thinking like, this story will top anything else that'll get me back to prom. Because she was following something else, but this was the thing that could actually send them over, the turtles.
Yeah.
Human turtles.
Yeah. No, I like that. Because I mean, like, it was, for her, it was the prom. For them, it was human interaction, like that human engagement. Like that. Yeah, they get to go out and they get to do these different things. Hold on. And we see why she's called Puke Girl. Jazz, what did you think about this crazy puking scene?
I didn't think they would show it to us, but then I'm like, Seth Rogen, he's gonna show us what we need to see it. And oh my God, April, what did you eat for lunch? Because it was just a lot. It was so much. I thought this scene was hilarious. And then she was like, and I even went viral. Like, all of that. I was like, damn, April, I'm sorry you went through that.
It was a crazy. TikTok. It was a TikTok sound. Like, so they made me a zombie.
I get it, but I thought it was funny because when she told Leo that she was like trying to be a journalist, and he was just like, "You have the face to be in front of the camera."
It's kind of smooth though, man, especially for a 15-year-old. Like
turtle,
okay. I see your game.
Turtle, yeah,
15-year-old turtle. No interaction. I'm like, okay, like I see you. I see the game.
I mean, but clearly they keep up with it. I mean, they go into Adele concerts. True. They watching they kicking it. They know what's going on.
And watching anime because we get an Attack on Titan reference. Are y'all familiar with that series?
I know what it is.
Wild show.
I've never watched it though. You watch it, Chris?
I have seen the first 2 seasons, and then I feel like there was a hiatus. Yeah, I watch it. I need to finish it.
See, I just watched a season of Dragon Ball Super. That was 130 episodes. So, anime seasons are different.
I don't even really see them as well. I think that Attack on Titan, they don't have as many episodes, as Dragon Ball Super. But yeah, Attack on Titan, that's a very dark series, violent. Do you watch it, Jazz?
I've watched 13 episodes of the first season.
Okay, so it's a pretty wild show.
Did you really watch 13 episodes?
Up there, somewhere around there.
So
around
specific.
13.
Not the first season, 13 episodes.
I was like, she grabbed the number. I was like, wait.
Damn sure did. You just didn't see it.
That was mad specific when she went into it. But April, she takes him into a little, I'm gonna say a lair, but her computer room. She got an investigation board out and she's going through the different people or the different things, and she's put it together pretty much. Like she just doesn't know what's going on, but nobody knows what they're actually building, but she has an idea and she runs through different names, and we have this crazy montage that I really love, really enjoyed. Jay, what do you think about this montage as No Diggity No Doubt comes on?
I'll be honest, this song was so random for this type of scene, but I enjoyed it. I love this scene. I think this is probably one of my favorite scenes from this movie because how they're flipping through different people and you're seeing different turtles do different things. And I thought that scene was I love that. I thought it was fantastic. But then I'm listening to No Diggity and I'm like, this just seems weird. I feel like I shouldn't be watching this and listening to this. And I was like, let me get y'all. Did the song seem right to y'all?
Yeah, I loved it. Like
It was my favorite scene too.
Because like for me, but I oftentimes in my head, like I just put like when I think about myself doing things, like
You put songs to it.
I put yes in certain instances, like I might be like, what would I be like if I was like I always say, if I was like in a shootout, the I got to think about what it is, but it's a song for you by Donny Hathaway. Like I always say, like if I was in the shootout, I want that to be playing. Like
that's the song.
Yeah, that's the song. Like
Donny Hathaway, he don't got no lit. Like his stuff is like real calm.
Exactly.
So you trying to go out like Cleo?
It'll be something like Cleo type situation. I didn't say I was going out. I just said I'd be shooting in that moment. I didn't say I was going out. I just like that. This what I'd be like. You pull up like you remember Say the Last Dance. They pull up in that they pull up in the song. They get to shoot in the sad song, and they show her doing the ballerina in the sad. And she was not killing that shit. Let me just say that there right now. She was not killing that shit. Julia Stiles, horrible, my girl. You trash.
Damn, trash. Oh my god, bro.
Jason, at the time. That shit was amazing. At the time, do not do that. She probably looked back on it and was. She probably looking like that's probably was. Yo, have y'all seen somebody recreate it? I just.
What you supposed to say, Chris?
I was gonna say, so have y'all? This scene reminded me. Have y'all seen those like highlight videos, like a basketball? There'll be highlight tapes.
They have a random ass song.
Yeah, it'll be like Tony Braxton or something, like SWV, and like it's funny as hell because it doesn't. You got these dude dunking on dudes and like just crossing people up, and it'll be to like SWV. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you think the song was placed incorrectly as well, Chris?
No, it reminded me of that, and that makes me laugh. So I enjoyed that scene because it doesn't mix, and I'm like, what is this? But so it was cool. So I'm not sure if they were inspired by that. I have a homeboy who is on the AAU circuit, so through him I've seen like a lot of basketball takes in the most random song, like the Isley Brothers. So I'm seeing this, I'm like, all right, it doesn't make sense, but it kind of does. So I like this.
All right, so just me and Crystal business. So Crystal, she went out. Well, she went out. She put like watching a TV show, and she'd be like, change the song, like, or either change the song that was there or make a song that better fit. So Crystal, I'm gonna start with you because it's something that we do. In this scene, what song would you have put in place of this song? And does anyone else have one that y'all would have possibly put on here as Crystal thinks, unless y'all thinking as well?
Yes.
Ooh. I was gonna say DJ Khaled with Drake, I'm on one, but I might do that, or damn, some DMX, Party Up.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I'm having a Drake. My spirit is saying something from Drake, but I don't know what.
I probably, if I was going Drake, probably like, I got enemies, got a lot of enemies.
Yep.
Trying to take the way from something like that.
I would do Drake, Fair Trade.
I don't think I'd pick that one, Jazz.
You wouldn't?
No, not for that type of scene.
But you would do No Diggity?
No Dick. It's a completely different vibe.
All right. Okay.
But I also have like a like that was like the second concert I ever went to in my life too. So it's a different it sits on my heart a little different. What about you, Chris? You think of a song you was gonna put on there?
If I guess since y'all mentioned Drake, for that I would say maybe Worst Behavior, just going with the Drake. But if I was gonna keep it with but if I was gonna keep it with the energy of the scene, I will go really ridiculous and funny. I'll play Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. Just keep it goofy and just like ridiculous. Like, why is this song here? And they just up there like just like roughing dudes up to that song, to this super optimistic song. Probably do that.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna Have to put that on the clip. I was also thinking, I was like, Chris, not gonna go. I would die for you. Like, I think that would be like a crazy, in that scene.
Wait, by who's that by?
That's
By Prince.
That would be. I was thinking maybe When Doves Cry, but I like the energy though. I like the energy with that because it's like so. It doesn't make sense at all, but it's like, yo, this is hilarious.
I would do J. Cole, Fire Squad.
Okay.
Hands
I like that.
in the air.
I like
that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. the bell, if you do it like with the bell coming on before they kick the door in, and then they come in. But I like how they switched each person, let each person lead. Right. They came into each room, and then each person. They then at the end they got to the guys, and everybody snitched. Like I can't say nothing, but if so, you need to talk to him, or I talk to him. Like everybody's like, damn, so everybody's snitching, huh? Let me see. And then they come out, and this is when I felt like April kind of. It felt like April was being a hater in this scene, or am I tripping? Jazz, you don't think she was being a hater?
No, they was doing a little much. But from like a human point of view, I would think that's doing too much. But they've been turtles living and grew up in a sewage, so they was having a good time. I mean, but I wouldn't have been recorded either, though.
I mean, they were doing a little bit too much, and I can see why April would think that maybe they were losing focus. But again, they're 15. And also they've never experienced this before, so for me it makes sense. Like I thought that was really good writing. This is exactly what I think that someone who's been cooped up their whole life, that they would just like maybe go a little bit too far and just because it's the first time they really had fun, like real fun.
Okay, it's like Krista going to college. So what you think, Krista?
Whoa,
that's right.
I mean, we just going into the conversation we had in today. I didn't talk about nothing that we haven't talked about today.
Yes. Crazy. So I could see how she was. Huh?
You got it.
Okay, I could see how she was being a hater because I'm gonna redirect. I'm gonna steer this back to Miss April. I could see how she was being a hater, but I mean, just like Chris just said, they 15 years old. This is the first time, like they've been trying to get out the house and not just get groceries. Like this may never happen again. We about to do it big and do it right. So, April, get over it. We're getting you a story, man.
It just felt like she was like, I don't know. It just kind of felt like that she didn't like it and she was recording. And it was like, but I mean, I get it on both sides. Like I get where she would come from as well. But of course, Splinter, he hits them up, tells them to come home. It's an emergency. He throws them a surprise party. And they just like, yeah, bro, but like I don't want to do this shit under the ceiling, up under the, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to do this shit no more. Ready to kick it. And for some reason he thought cutting out 3 different versions of Chris for them to hang out with was the thing to do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I guess in the you know, they kept going into this milking. He asked if they've been getting milked or anything. So I was wondering if that was going to be something that was going to actually come up at any point within this movie. But you know, the next thing we finally get one of the big payoffs here is we get the mutant mayhem, the mutant meetup. Krista, what did you think about this scene as they take the information that they got from the who is that beat up something Bad Bernie. They got the Bad Bernie information, and they know that they're going to meet up with Superfly, and they were going to bust him. What do you think about this scene?
I think if that's how you're gonna be introduced, that's how you should be introduced. Okay. It was just like it was a whole vibe. Like I loved it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bop along with the rhinos. Y'all right. I might as well feel this song out. Let's do it. And then he get off his motorcycle, whatever he was on. He just cool. He just cool as hell. I get the name. I get it. I understand the hype. Superfly. I get it.
Yeah, I never thought I'd hear some Gucci Mane in a kid's flick like that. That's hard. That was hard. What do you think about this scene, Chris, meeting all the different mutants and
I
whatnot.
loved it. Like Crystal said, I thought Superfly was really cool. Ice Cube killed this role.
Yeah.
Like I thought that
He
Facts,
he did
did.
an
facts.
amazing job in this role. And actually, initially, at first, I couldn't tell it was him at first, just because I couldn't. I know maybe I'm kind of dumb there. It took
I ain't
me
gonna say you're
like not.
dumb, but you tripping. You definitely tripping.
Eventually, I did. It didn't take.
That's one of the that's like one of the most distinct voices ever in history of the world.
No, you're right. I just feel like he kind of got really lost, not lost in a bad way. Like he really made this role his. So I didn't feel like it wasn't Ice Cube. It was more so Superfly. And then I was like, hold on, I know this voice. So it came to me. So I guess like I felt like that was really good voice acting because I feel like
Mhm.
voice acting you shouldn't be able to tell like this is the character, unless it's someone like Snoop was really like, like really easy. And I guess you could say the same about Cube, but nah, I loved it. Like I loved all the different characters. They were weird looking. They would definitely
They
scare me too.
mutants.
Yeah, but they on another level.
A pig and a rhino? Hell yeah! Why they even cool? Like what?
Who else are they gonna be cool with? That's the only people they got. So
Like
it was definitely kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for? A misfit. They would definitely felt like some misfits. But nah,
mhm.
like I'm with Crystal. Like it was a great entrance. Like Superfly cool as hell. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
This is y'all know this. It's like they gave the fly
The fro
the Ice Cube
from Boys in the
NWA
Hood.
fro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ice Cube boys in the
Oh.
NWA
Mhm.
afro.
Oh,
Back
my bad.
there.
One more thing though. I didn't look at the voice cast before the movie, so I didn't know
Okay.
who was gonna be in it. So I had no idea that Cube was gonna be in it. So
Got
that's
you,
another
got
reason
you.
why.
I mean, even if looking or not, I mean, I just know their voice. Like
I feel
that's
you.
that's like it's like Beyonce. Beyonce on the screen, nigga. You know. What Jazz? Don't do that. Don't.
I ain't say nothing.
It's Renaissance right now. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're in a Renaissance right now, and it's Virgo season. Like you gotta chill out. All that. Like, yeah. As a matter, hold on. Let me see something real quick.
I think Beyonce is a Virgo, I believe.
Yeah, happy
If I'm
birthday,
not mistaken.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think her birthday is
Okay.
September
September
4th.
4th. Yeah, September
Oh,
4th.
okay.
Yes. Happy
Okay.
birthday. Happy birthday.
Okay.
Happy belated birthday.
Okay.
Blowing
Out there.
kisses.
Belated. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be by the time you hear this, yeah.
Okay. 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 You think ahead. Okay. I see you.
Jazz. Did you so they make it to the bowling alley, Jay. What do you think about this scene of them kicking it at the bowling alley having a real mutant mayhem?
I loved it. I thought I really enjoyed this scene. Everybody was having a good time, and then you see the turtles the brothers having a good time, and it's genuine, way better than living in the sewage. They're around other mutants that look different than them, playing arcade games. It was community. And so I thought it was really cool how they pretty much were able just to come together. And then even on my first watch, it was just like me thinking the effect that these other mutants had on the brothers. But kind of when you think about it, get on the rewatch, it's like, well, they had a positive effect on those mutants as well, because they always thought it was just them, but then they're seeing that there's others. So I really enjoyed this scene, but then we come to find out Superfly is crazy he is crazy.
He a psycho.
So we going back to we having a Killmonger moment here, Jess. Like I
mean, you could say that, and then you could say a Gravik moment.
Possibly.
All of these people are crazy.
They're definitely trying to get rid of the humans.
But you have to think. You got to think about where they come from with their with their moment. You have, which at this point you have it split. You have what Splinter did based on his interaction with humans, and then you have what Superfly did when he had his interactions with the humans. And I was thinking about I think about this clip I seen that was just saying like the difference between a superhero and a villain is their response to a triggering moment. Like that's the only difference between the two, is how they respond to it. So what's it called? He chose to run and hide as opposed to Superfly. He chose to mollywop.
He wasn't gonna let that man do nothing to him and his family. He got him out of the game forever.
Okay.
I beat that fool. Like, bro, come on, Q.
This is a moment where you just like, it's a kid movie. Because he did, like, he he was hitting his claw on the table, and then he splat the ketchup, and then it went on all of the brothers' faces. And I said, "Oh, yep, okay."
Mhm.
So I mean, so yeah, you wasn't feeling this plan at all, Jazz? Like in Crystal, y'all weren't feeling this plan to kill all the humans?
Superflies? No,
Yeah.
absolutely
No.
not. I feel like
I was gonna be on the human side, you know.
I mean,
yeah.
so if you had
I feel like
if y'all had a choice though, like let's just right here, if you had a choice to be a mutant or a human, like what you riding with?
If I could
what
be
am I
an
gonna
X-Men
look like?
mutant, sure.
Yeah.
Whatever this is, yes.
Yeah, I'll choose. Yeah, I'm with Crystal. I'll choose to be like Wolverine, a Cyclops. I'll be them, but
Yeah,
I don't want to
give me
be.
some talents or something.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be what they on. And I
I could
mean, yeah, like
I could be a
go ahead.
superfly. I could be a superfly. I can rock a superfly.
Really?
I was gonna say find me a horse, and I could be the centaur that I've always wanted to
They
be.
had some horses in
You
here.
want to be a centaur?
I know they did, and I
They
don't know
did.
where they came from. But we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that.
I had that question too. And I had to go to Wikipedia to see, but I don't. Maybe I missed it, but we'll get to that. But I was like, what
What?
are these horses
Okay.
coming from? All these other animals.
Was there a farm close? Because
I thought it
Apparently
was a zoo.
Yeah, okay, so maybe I did miss it, but apparently there was a zoo, but I missed the zoo. I thought he was in the water,
I did
and I'm
too.
like, why are there horses in water?
I thought they was
So
like
I missed that.
seahorses, but I said nah, because that bad boy just ran. It galloped away. So I was like, that's not a seahorse.
And I don't even think they in whatever with the Hudson, maybe, I'm assuming. I don't know what body of water.
Mhm.
So I'm like, nah, there wouldn't be no
There'd probably be
seahorses there. I hope not.
Probably would have been some dead bodies on them too.
Yeah, you might have that. Yeah.
If anything.
In the Hudson, come on now. So they leave at the bowling alley, and they pretty much decided, this probably isn't. This is a horrible plan that he's going with. He's about to go into. So we gotta figure out something, because he said he's gonna enslave the people. He said he's gonna make them like some. I know Jazz know. What do you say? Say it. I know you know.
Feel like he said a fat booty contest, but I said there's no way that's what he said. But is that what he said? That's what he said.
Yeah, he said something stupid. I'm gonna do something stupid. Yeah.
He was just saying like random stuff. Like he was like, how y'all have like what did he say? Oh no, I didn't. Only thing I had written down here was the fat booty contest.
I know. That's why I asked you to say it. I knew you had. I knew
listening on the comm.
Of our notes, I knew you had that one. About.
I'm ashamed. I hate when Jason right.
Don't let them be right. Don't
right. I gotta start being like, that's a good note. No, Jason gonna know I got that.
Sorry. So they in the car. They try to divert it, and they were like, "Hey, we can drive. Drive the car." I mean, I don't know how they learn how to drive. Like they've been in a sewer and running across rooftops, so them knowing how to drive is just kind of crazy. Anyway, but they jump in the car, and I think they put Bebop in the car with them. The Bebop, the Gecko.
They put like 4 of them folks in there with them.
It was at least 2. It's not more, but it was a couple.
It was
2
3
in the front and 2 in the back.
Yeah. So they in the car, and they're trying to figure out how to get out of it. This scene was real funny to me as well. Because the song that they was playing, like for some reason that song had been on my mind like for at least a week straight. I don't know why. It just kept on playing and kept on playing. I'm like, man, I know it. Like I don't even know. I really don't know the song. I just know that yeah. And that's kept on doing that tune. And me and my daughter was like, that's what me and her, we kept singing. Like we kept on just doing that little part. And then it came on. They was like, we need something small but sturdy, but strong enough that can press the pedal and it'll throw them out the window because there's no windshield. And then they press it with the stick, and then they throws everybody out of the car, and then the chase scene ensues. Chris, what do you think about this chase scene here as they try to run away from the mutants?
I really liked it. I thought, again, this was like a really fun scene. I thought that this was Like it was exciting, man. Like I just really enjoyed this. I think that it was cool, like seeing that them, the other, I don't know if they have a name for them, but Superfly's gang, like to turn on them and like to see them like kind of be villainous to when they were like previously, like kind of becoming boys. So it was good to see like that switch flip. And you could still kind of tell that like they really don't want to. They would rather them be teamed up. So even though they were chasing them and that they obviously didn't want them to turn on them, like it was cool that it wasn't just like, nah, like y'all are like the ops and we just want to like like beat you up or whatever. So it felt good that like they still wanted them to be down, like, and just they didn't want them to be the op. So I felt like that was definitely like in terms of the story, I thought it was good, but the chasing was great. Like this animation is just really beautiful. So all of like the action scenes were just like great and beautiful to look at.
And then of course, what should I say, Crystal?
I was just gonna say the animation is called CG animation, and this is the first time that Nickelodeon has done a CG animated movie. So I just a little fact.
What's the difference in what is? I mean, do you have a?
I didn't get that far into it. I just know that it's basically like CGI but in animation.
Well, that makes sense because I'm watching this and I'm like, it looks like kind of like a comic book, but like not really, but it doesn't look like Across the Spider-Verse. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. And so I had nothing to compare it to. So it makes sense that it's the first time. So it was beautiful. Like it doesn't look anything like Across the Spider-Verse, but like just animations, like they're both like really, really amazing, I thought.
I mean, you can tell it was inspired. You can tell it was inspired by, but then the people that the animators did come out and say it was inspired by that. So I mean that made sense. It made a lot of sense as far as with that. And I was gonna say, Superfly got the mollywop Dunny in the back of the van, which we kind of see where he was kind of overpowering them. Jay, what do you think about seeing Superfly in action for the first time?
I mean, he's nothing to play around with. Like he's really strong for him to be a fly, but you can't be weak and have super in your name. So he's out here, pretty much going against them. He gets the device, and the fact that they obviously got away. And I sense this is one of the trucks that what's the doctor's name?
Stockman.
It's the bad lady. The
Cynthia. The other lady.
Cynthia. So this is one of the trucks that has the tracker, which is why her men were able to find the turtles as soon as they fell off that bridge. And when Leo looked up, he was just like, "April, help me." I'm like, ain't really much April can do, but she
man, he just be snitching. Don't give up my location because you got dropped the drop home.
He don't know no better, Jason. This is his first time getting caught.
He was tripping though, because she's better help for them, like getting a plan going to Splinter, what ended up happening, than her trying to jump in.
He doesn't think about that at the time, because if you just see yourself about to get caught, your brothers is passed out, and you just like, okay, maybe that person can help. And he just, I
don't know.
I mean, I knew she couldn't, but when she drove off,
she didn't do nothing.
Oh, she didn't
recorded
do everything
at the first. No, I'm saying when her motorcycle got
she got mugged.
She didn't help them people. She watched them fight all the men, and then came out like, "Thanks."
That's
guys.
true. That is true. She was chilling.
She technically, I don't even know how she knew that was it, but she found them, and then when she went in, she was like, "Hey, I'm just a regular civilian trying to get my y'all got y'all butts whooped, huh?"
That seemed like a dangerous situation to walk into, going to a chop shop and you ain't got no kind of weapons and you're in high school, but
yeah, she was kind of wilding like that. Like, kind of made me think, what were her parents?
Adventure.
Because like she just out here like going on these dangerous adventures and like going to the sewers, going into like these brawls. I'm like, yo, she got a lot of freedom, I was thinking.
Yeah.
But maybe that's New York, though. Maybe it's a little bit different out there. Maybe. I don't know.
Still probably dangerous.
That's for shit show. But they kind of different mentality as far as going into those pressure situations. But of course, this is when the gang they meet Cynthia. She wants that. Of course, she wants that mutant gene, kind of like what Stockman was talking about. She wants to use it and weaponize it. She wants her super soldiers. And then this is when we find out there's a milking machine. There was, a payoff I didn't know I needed until we got it. Of course, April, like you said, she went out to get Splinter. And Mikey is getting milked. And then they're kind of, they're screaming, they're yelling. Then, Splinter, he infiltrates the building, and then he begins to break the people out. So, Chris, how did you feel about Splinter's character in this portrayal? I think that was the only slight I've ever seen anyone have toward this movie, is the way they made Splinter. So, you being seeming as if you may have knowledge there, what did you think about Splinter's portrayal? And I'm gonna bring it to you next, Jazz.
The only criticism so for myself, I didn't have any issues with it, because the one that I can think of is that maybe that he was too comedic. That's not my criticism, but that's, if I had to guess, maybe they thought that he was a little bit too comedic, and that he's a much more serious character in other adaptations. But that's not my critique, because it really wouldn't have made sense with the tone of the movie. Because even Superfly, wants to kill all the humans, he still had comedic moments, even if it wasn't him cracking jokes per se. It's still it fit with the tone. So I like Splinter. He came in and he whooped everybody. He got them hands. He was looking at those videos, and he obviously is the master. So I have I don't know. I haven't heard any criticism about Splinter, so I'm actually kind of curious on what it is. But that would be my guess. And if that is, I feel like that's a nitpick, because if you have the one serious real stoic person and a real comedic, you had that with Leo being kind of the stuck up one, but it was still played for comedy, so it fit with it. So what was the criticism?
So it was just more so they said, kind of, he's softer to a certain extent. They felt like kind of like what you were saying, I think it was the comedic, more so the comedic part of it. That's what people were going based off of as well. But yeah, that's the only thing I ever seen people really be upset with, was Splinter in this. What you got, Jazz?
I was gonna say I enjoyed this scene of him actually fighting, because I don't remember in the live action from the 90s, he was more really old and about to die tomorrow kind of situation. So Splinter in the movies, in the live action,
he is old,
super old. So it's just seeing him actually fighting and going insane, using each of the weapons that he pretty much assigned to each of the turtles and utilizing it, I thought was great in this scene. I didn't have any kind of issues with it, because it kind of reminded me of, I'm not sure if y'all are Star Wars fans, but seeing Yoda in some of the episode 1 series of him actually fighting. Because when you see when Star Wars dropped originally, Yoda was old, about to die tomorrow kind of
Oda is old on the Mandalorian. He a baby at the same time. He old baby. He like Benjamin Button.
80. Look, yeah, I think 50 or 80, something like that.
But he's small though. But you look at the first Star Wars, which is part 4. You see Yoda, and you just he about to be out of here. But just to see them moving around and fighting, I personally enjoyed it from Splinter.
Gotcha. Did you have anything with this scene, Crystal? We're seeing Mr. Master Splinter.
No, my only add-on to this would be that I think all of the boys are a piece of him, talent-wise and personality-wise. Because you've kind of seen him, his aggression, obviously he can kick ass, that's Ralph. His softer, fun side, I would say, I think it's, who is Orange? Michelangelo. Him, his leadership, Leonardo, and then I don't know too much else about Donnie.
Donatello.
But whatever
he's a smart
him.
Yeah, he's a
for sure. Smart.
Yeah, he's the gadget maker and whatnot, in the cartoon and stuff.
So one thing I wanted to add, because they saying that he was colder in other versions, that just wouldn't have fit here. Like I feel like he felt like a parent who's trying to like being overprotective of their kids. So I feel like, and one thing I think this movie did really well is that, like, and Jason, maybe you can relate to this, but like I feel like they captured like the friend group, like a group of boys. I feel like they really, really captured that really well, and like the way that like teenage boys interact each other. Like I felt like that was how my friends like acted when we were like 14, 15, and like I felt like Splinter
Mhm.
was being a parent. So I feel like if you're looking at it saying he's supposed to be too cold, he's not their trainer, he's their dad. So like I think
Mhm.
they're looking at it wrong, in my opinion, and they need to take it for like what the story actually is, and not saying that, oh well, this is where the character was and this is how he should be, because it wouldn't have made sense if he came and acted like a drill sergeant. We didn't even see him train. Well, we saw the montage of him doing the videos, but he was
Mhm.
raising his kids. He's not raising ninjas. He's raising his sons. So like that wouldn't make
Mhm.
that criticism don't make sense to me.
Yeah, I guess I'll go back to Jess. We were just talking about Bird Box. It kind of goes into that. He was like training them to fight, not necessarily to fight the world, but to protect themselves from what he was afraid of, to a certain extent. So it makes a lot more sense. But people going, if
Yeah.
it's something that they have an affinity for, something that they grew up with, or they have knowledge of, they just gonna
Mhm.
ride with the whatever the experience was, and it need to be that. It needs to at
True.
least it needs to be as close to that, but
Yeah.
different at the same time. So. And of course, this is when April kind of says, the reason y'all was doing this, I can see that my reason for doing this was wrong. So I need to figure out my stuff, which I think I enjoyed that a lot more than it would have. I feel like the only other thing would have been is they didn't know that they were being used, or she didn't know that she was being used, and then that would have been a problem. That's the typical teen drama
Mhm.
in there. So
You feel
we
like
get
they were being used though? Like I don't know. I don't want to feel like this is semantics, but it seemed like it was just an agreement. Like I'll help you, you help me. Like I
Oh
feel
no,
like
no,
used.
I definitely agree.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
okay,
that's what I said like earlier. I feel like it was a mutually
okay.
beneficial relationship for both
Got you.
people. But I feel like it could have almost landed into the
Mm,
if like they could have been if they wanted to run with their storyline, it could have been like you just using me for XYZ,
mm,
because I mean they was in a they she knew why they was trying to get out to the world, but like
yeah.
if they didn't go to the high school and eventually it came out, she was
I feel you.
not as well received. I ain't gonna, I'm not gonna call her lame. I'm gonna say
Nah,
not
she
well
wasn't lame.
received, because it could
Yeah,
have,
she wasn't
I'm just
lame.
saying, because you have a look at Jazz like nigga, please. You
Nah, she
seen
wasn't lame.
the head.
Ah,
She did the side
He
head like.
called her lame. So we got him in 4K. So now he's
she
like,
not.
what
Oh, I mean, she
happened?
not. Okay, she had something. She was a loner, and she didn't have as many friends because she had something embarrassing happen. Like she wasn't. She not a lame girl. Like she just did something, had some wild shit to happen
Yeah,
to
yeah,
her.
yeah. Y'all never had nothing embarrassing happen in school.
Not to that level.
I'm like,
I
no.
have had some embarrassing moments, but nothing like where I threw up on camera. That's crazy.
Yeah, I fell on like some
That's
ice going to
crazy.
class in the courtyard.
Oh shit. How old were you?
I was in high school,
Like
old enough to.
hold it off.
I don't, I don't count falling as an embarrassing thing, because me falling
If
is
you
one
heard how
thing.
many people was laughing,
I'm
Now
just
fall
the
is
reason
embarrassing, bro.
Embarrassed.
I'm
right?
just saying to me, like, because me falling is one thing, but how I'm gonna fall is gonna be the next. Because I'm dramatic. I'm super dramatic if it comes to me falling, and I'm gonna lay there. I'm going later like
Nah.
I
You can't lay
died.
there, bro.
Like,
You can't lay there, bro. You got to get up quickly. You
oh,
got to get up quick.
did y'all see the video of the old man fighting the lady in the store?
Nah.
Yes, and yes,
And the way he fell, I'm falling like that. I'm gonna send that to you. I'm falling like the way he fell. He was like, oh,
Listen, if I fall, I'm getting up just as quick as I fell.
oh
Unless I
hell
got
no,
like a
I'm laying.
broken leg, I'm
Oh no,
popping
I'm
up.
laying. I'm a later. You gonna see me. I'm spread out like
Listen,
Jesus.
you
did
gonna
that
have your
falling?
leg all contorted, just looking
I'm
crazy.
I'm gonna fall like Peter Griffin.
like
Oh,
why?
remember that? Okay, I said Jazz, Chris and Jazz. I know y'all. Well, if I say what it is, y'all will know. But I said to both of y'all, it was what men need to do when they get nudes. The way she laid dramatically
Yeah,
Oh,
on the
yeah,
ground. That's
yeah.
yeah.
how. That's how. That's how I'm falling out. Like I'm gonna be on the ground. Like damn, who shot him? I'm like, no, he just tripped. He didn't
Listen,
want to get back up.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's true.
If I laid out like that and I sent that to my dude and he did not call the ambulance, like, because her body looked broke up, like the ring or the grudge just left, like her
Uh-huh.
body was crazy.
this is random, but like falling in front of people is one of my irrational fears. Like I swear to God, I swear, it's one of my irrational fears. So like so let's say I'm in the mall and it'll be like a lot of people. I'm like, yo, what if I just slipped and fall in front of everybody? And I get anxiety. So like if I'm going down like stairs, I'll hold on to the rails like an old person because I have this fear of falling. It is not. I'm not even worried about getting hurt. It's about the embarrassment. Everyone
Just
looking at
fall.
me.
It's
Nah,
not the
if I
best.
fall, no, it's embarrassing as hell. If I fall, I will get up, run out, and I will never go there again. On God, like I am terrified of falling on people.
Oh my
Like
god,
it's irrational, but it's like I'm terrified of it.
man, I don't. I'm trying to think what would actually embarrass. I don't know what would embarrass me. Like I'm
Really?
like truly, I don't stuff like that don't bother like because I don't really care what people think of me. Like so stuff like that
Uh-huh.
don't bother me. So I don't know.
That's a great quality. Like that stuff don't embarrass you. Like I think too much about others, so like it's not a lot of things, but that's
Mhm.
definitely like something that like
I get it.
if you in a big crowd of people, I'm like, man, what if I fall? Like what if I slip? You know, so that stresses me out a little bit. Oh
Hey,
God, that
matter,
stresses me out.
matter of fact, when I was in high school, bro, I
What
was in high
happened?
school. I had just left football practice. Oh my god, I'm going to sleep. No, this has always been. I'm going to sleep no matter what, where I'm at, what I'm doing. If I'm sleepy, y'all niggas know. I'm
Oh,
going
you
to
know, we
sleep,
on the same page. Oh, we here. We here. I'm
bro.
gonna go to
Yes,
sleep.
y'all are.
Crystal,
They
I'm
are
gonna go to
on the
sleep.
Crystal,
same page, the same line. The words
It
right
don't
Crystal.
next to
matter
each
where.
other.
I'm going to
We,
sleep.
me and Crystal have witnessed this. We
Look,
have witnessed this.
Y'all gonna witness it again. I'm going to
hey,
sleep.
look, bro. I went to sleep in Germantown. I went to sleep in one side of the part of town. I woke up in Whitehaven. Basically, I woke up at the grocery store.
How did you do
What you
Ooh,
that? Okay.
mean?
I was in the car. I got in the car. Remember, I got in
Oh,
the car. So I woke up. I looked out the window at the store. I looked at the store, and I looked at my granddad like, "Oh, we at grandma place." Man, I stepped out the car and just went flat, like just face plant in front of the store. And the people were like, "Oh my God, is he okay?"
Yo,
I said,
yo,
"Look, what the
did you like break
why
your
did you
nose or
take such
something?
big of a step?
Oh no, my granddad said, what the hell?"
Hey, but I see how that can happen because sometimes when you're awake, but like you're not fully awake and your body is like not there, like it's
Where was
not.
you walking though?
I think my body was still in the car. My boy, I
Yeah.
don't know. I
Did you
said,
start
"Whoa."
bleeding?
Okay.
No, I just laid there though. Uh,
Oh, you gotta get up. Like you can't. You gotta get up.
You
hell,
prolong
Stand
the
up.
embarrassment by just laying there.
Yeah, you
Because
do.
then people are gonna be like, "Oh, is he okay? Do I need to call someone?"
oh,
Like you, I'm like, "Hell no, don't call
oh
nobody."
man, nah, you got need. I need them. The paramedics got to come pick me up. But hey, I just thought I forgot about that. Was a memory unlock. Oh my god.
I'll tell you this one because I know we got sidetracked. This one time I was in college, and I was walking in front of my dorm, and there was these girls, and I may have been by myself, and one of them was like said something. Oh, he cute, and then I'm going up these stairs, and I swear, as soon as they said that, like I stumbled on the stairs, and I stumbled hard. I didn't fall, but I stumbled like I got tackled in football,
You lost
and I
some
had to
cool
catch
points.
myself, and then they started laughing. I mean, laughing hard as hell in this little
Dang.
crowd. So maybe that's where my fear of falling came from because I
Shit.
definitely did like fall like pretty hard, and everybody started laughing, and I just like sped walk away.
Oh man. You gotta turn them losses into wins, man. Cause
I couldn't.
I was like, oh, we fall down. I would have got to singing something. You know, man. Look,
Nah, cause I'm a panic. I'm a panic and not think. So I just left.
yeah.
I,
See, I'm thinking when I'm panicked. I think that's why I failed when I got out the car. Like, 'cause I was already thinking something else. Like, I'm already there. But this next scene. It is the mutant mayhem. They every all the mutants they link back up. The turtles and Splinter are now with Superfly, and they have this. Well, they try to have a powwow to a certain extent because at first everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we for the ride," and it was like, "But I mean, I want really with that plan from the beginning, dog." Like,
It's just kind of scary.
I mean, shit. Now it was just a group thing, but now that we really thinking, I ain't trying to kill everybody. Like that ain't what I'm trying to be on. What do you think about this switch up, Jazz?
I was just like, damn, Superfly, your family switched on you so fast. They was like, look, what if we kill all these people and then I see their faces in my sleep? And it was just like, oh yeah, you definitely don't want to see that. And I was just like, they had been thinking about it like, all right, who gonna tell them we not really trying to do this? And with them meeting the turtles, they see that maybe we can do something else. It like opened up like opportunities for them of like, oh, we got more mutants out here like us. But Superfly was just like, nah, y'all don't listen to that. We got to kill all these humans. But I thought this scene was funny because it was just like, they switched real quick. And then the rhino and the, what was it, pig? Was like, maybe he's the reason why I'm so angry. I was like, dang, y'all need to go to therapy. One session would have had y'all good. But, but Superfly like took out all of them. Like,
bruh, going crazy. Going crazy. Like he's like, come on, bring it like deep. I'm a like Depot type moment. Like he was going to fight the whole. Well, he fought. I ain't gonna say he almost. He fought the whole crowd.
He did. He was like, "Who wants some? Who wants some from Depot?" Superfly, like he did that to them. He pulled a Leon. He was like, "I ain't gonna do what Leon did," but like he was just like, "Who you trying to come at me?" Superfly was wild. That was a strong little bee or a fly.
Fly. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. And he called Splinter a punk, and that's when he finally jumped in. He finally jumped into the fight. He pushed him off into that concoction that was in the bottom. And I'm gonna let y'all, Chris and Jazz, explain the types of animals that he became, because I feel like I thought y'all solved the mystery as to where these animals came from.
I don't know. I still don't know where they came from. Like, where those horses come from?
So they were somewhere, like there was a moment where they were outside somewhere and the zoo was like in the distance and he like pointed it out. He was like, yeah, that's the some zoo. And then he started talking about the animals and other things. It was real quick. They didn't spend, we didn't go in the zoo. It was just like, there go the zoo.
That makes sense. So I think I just missed that moment because I saw him go in the water, and I feel like maybe Jazz and I saw the same thing, and I'm like, okay, these animals don't go in the water, but that makes sense then.
Yeah, Superfly was. I was just like all the different animals on him. I was like, dang, can you imagine being Nemo just swimming around like I'm on my way to New York, and then you now attached to a giant fly.
It was ugly looking too. Like it was real nasty looking.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
I feel like the whale part was like a callback to something that happened earlier. I believe when he was saying he was naming all the animals that he was going to turn, I feel like that's what that was. Oh, I think it's like I think people said like it's a whale of a tail. I think is that like the joke, like a saying.
It is a saying, yes.
Is it?
See, I don't know. It's in North Carolina, man. I think y'all got no.
What you mean? What? We got plenty sayings. I ain't never heard that one.
Give me a saying. Give me a saying. Give me a saying, y'all.
I don't know. The proof is in the pudding. That's one. I feel like
that's universal.
Okay.
How are we supposed to know if it's born? The saying is born and raised in North Carolina.
I mean, I'm just because I don't like y'all never know no sayings like not, and it don't be like it don't be feeling like Memphis.
Just because I didn't know what a Bible thumper was has nothing to do with us not knowing sayings.
Chris,
I know what a Bible thumper. I do know what a Bible thumper is.
But
Chris said you on that by yourself.
Yeah, that might be a jazz thing. That might be a jazz.
I recently found out it's definitely. I've asked so many people and they looking at me like, yeah. So yeah, it's just me.
But I don't know if that's like a Southern thing. I feel like that's like a term for like you can be a Bible thumper like wherever, really.
Yeah, you can. Like. You literally can. I was just saying like I don't. It's well up a tail. I just thought that was universally known.
Okay. I'm dumb. When you said whale of a tail, okay, I'm real dumb. I don't even want to say it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I thought you meant tail like TAIL, but you mean tell like a story. You mean like somebody's telling like a crazy story that's unbelievable. Yes. Okay, I've heard that. Okay, I'm dumb, y'all. I'm sorry. It's the end of the week. I've been productive. I feel like I gotta put that together, but okay, I have heard that then. Yeah. So Jazz, I'm sorry, my sister, you by yourself again.
It's okay.
I hate to throw you under the bus, but yeah, I have heard that.
I don't think you do hate it.
Just to be clear, I'm on there
right.
saying.
Like that's crazy. You see that flip? Now I see what Superfly went through because that was
You see how he
crazy.
felt.
And we fake over here.
That's
We fake.
crazy.
We
I'm
flip
glad
out.
we got 4K. I'm
No
gonna use that
royalties.
clip. Great. None.
But of course, Superfly comes out the water. He's super maxed at this point, and everybody just like, well, let's go back into the sewers and just live out our lives. Like they just go let
It's
them
not
attack.
so bad.
It's like
So,
we
but one thing
couldn't beat him when he was smaller. Now you
I
want us
know.
to beat him like that?
I mean, in the movies, I mean, clearly the government will come at some point. I mean, maybe not now, but they're gonna be here.
Eventually.
But one thing though, I did like, I guess going back to the earlier scene to where like his team flipped on him. I kind of like that. Like I thought that was good writing that they weren't just like the henchmen who were just going to blindly follow the leader. Like I thought it was cool that they were like started thinking for themselves and was like, yo, we were just here for the vibes, but like we wasn't really trying to we not really trying to do all of this, yo. You going too far. So I thought that was cool because like there was some moments because even we was talking about with April where they could have went the route to where like they found out that she was using them and they have their beef, that would have been real cliche. So I feel like there were moments they could have go real cliche and cookie cutter and they didn't. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah. So they go into the town, they go into the city of New York, and the Battle of New York ensues. Krista, what did you think of this fight or this battle as it was going on?
Honestly, as big as he was and as small as they were, I was kind of in their line of thinking like, yeah, they probably gonna have to retreat and try another day. Like he probably gonna win this one. Like I thought that he was gonna be an ongoing villain. So I really thought that he was gonna hem them up, send them back to their sewers, and then they'll get another chance in the sequel. So that's what I was thinking.
So you're gonna let him just go crazy over New York for 3 more movies?
For sure. They do in every other movie. Why not?
New York can withstand this. They always do.
Anything.
Man, I really like the scene where they take the gun, they shoot him. And Jazz, you brought this up earlier. It typically would break down whatever the mutant is, and it stop them from doing what they're doing. And you see the one horse. He's like, "What the heck? What the hell that do? What the hell that? What? I don't need that. I don't need that horse. I don't need it."
When he did that, I was like, "This isn't going to do enough."
Nah,
and it didn't. Shout out to that horse that got away though.
Right.
And then he was like, "I bet." He threw a card. It was like, yeah, he gonna run out of cars eventually. And he looks at the parking garage. He just started going crazy. I think this is my favorite scene when it blows up, and then you can see it from their point of view. I don't know who POV we had, or maybe it was just the camera's POV of what it looks like for them, because then you hear the ringing. Like in the movie theater, it was just kind of crazy as the ringing is going. Then you kind of see the vision, like it's kind of blurred as them trying to kind of get themselves back together. It was just like, bro, we getting our asses kicked right now. What's going on? And of course, you see April on her side of things. She's, they look up and pretty much see that they're showing them like the Ninja Turtles are bad people. And it's like, damn, we done did everything up to this point, and now we still looked at like the rest of these people. How did y'all feel about this scene here? Chris, I'm gonna let you go.
It kind of reminded me of well, now that I'm thinking of it, like X-Men. I think when Crystal brought that up earlier, how like the X-Men, they just seem like the world is always against them. And like even when they're trying to do the right thing, it seems like they're only seen as monsters, or like, the world will use them when it's time to like fight a villain, but then when it's time to like, okay, let them assimilate, then it's like, nah, y'all monsters, or let's be prejudiced to you. So I thought it was kind of wild that was the conclusion that they came to, that the turtles and I guess that their team fighting Superfly were the monsters. But I mean it's consistent with how I feel like how it would happen in real life, and just what I mean. I'm not sure like about their lore and how much humans dislike them or trust them or not, but it feels
Mm,
like it's consistent. Like at least comparing it to X-Men, it seems like it would be
mm.
consistent there.
Okay. Okay, Jazz, what do you think about the Leo rallying the team in spite of being looked at like outcasts and monsters at this point?
I think it showed really good leadership from him because he was able to utilize different elements and skills that each brother had and contained to try to handle this type of situation. And so, as a leader, he was just like, Mikey, you watch all of these animated or like anime movies, like what kind of situation in this? And he immediately went to Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's just, and it's like, okay, giant creature, back of the neck. Great idea. And then just going to each brother, like, I need you to give me that aggression, be loud with it. And then Ralph goes and flips up a truck so they can go ahead and get up in there what they need to do. And then with Donatello, he was just like, was Donatello the one where it was he changes, damn, what was his? I can't remember what his was.
Did he make the did he use the device that they got to throw it on him, the
Yeah,
mutant, the mutation device?
he the one that gave them an idea of what to do
Yeah.
with the little blue.
So he
The little
okay, so
blue
he was
thing.
Attack on Titan. Okay,
Yeah,
so he was
he was
Attack
Attack
on
on
Titan.
Titan.
Okay, and Mikey,
I don't know what Mikey was.
Mikey was the one to try to
What did Mikey do?
Because he kept trying to tell jokes to get them off of their game.
I think it was just to be able to handle a situation very quickly and be able to react to it quickly.
I think they said that he's the one that can like freestyle well, like he's the most friendliest,
Right.
outgoing, and I think that's thank you,
yes,
yes.
that's what it was.
Mm.
So I thought like him coming up using different elements that they were able to provide to come up with a plan. I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah,
so I was just like, all right, let's see how this unfolds.
And we got Leo. Ralph, he congratulates Leo for finally coming together and bringing a team like a leader should. So that was dope to just see the brothers, their camaraderie in that moment. And Chris, what did you think about April at the news station, trying to redo her broadcast for the world this time?
I'm proud of her. She got through it. She had a little hiccup, um, to say the least, but she ended up getting through it, and it was a great moment that seeing like her story come together, and her even though she did throw up again, that she was able to finish this time, and she did a good job, and I feel like her being able to persevere through that, like that's what her character needed. So I'm proud of my girl. I'm proud to see a young black girl succeed, getting her dreams. So I'm happy to see that for her.
Are you pandering?
No, I'm not pandering. No, I'm not. I know. I'm very happy. I'm proud of my girl April. I'm glad that that they casted has a black girl. I feel like in one of the cartoons that she is black in there, because I know that was and she's also not a skinny girl in this. So I'm glad for the representation. And apparently the original April, like the very very first one, apparently was Asian. I found that out. And like the very first comic book when it was black and white, and that's who it was based on. So people who are getting upset that she's not white, she was never originally white. But I'm happy I was happy for my girl April.
Huh? Okay. And well, of course,
I
Splinter.
learned so much.
You learn. That's what we're here for. You learn something new every day. Especially the turtles. But of course, Splinter get smacked across the room or across the way as the turtles are in the. Well, they try to make it to the hole, but it didn't work. Their original plan didn't work. Which I mean, you got to make adjustments sometimes. Splinter, he begins to try to go into it. He gets smacked, and then his triggers begin to happen. Crystal, what did you think about this scene with Splinter being triggered after he gets smacked and he see the people running up on him?
Well, I was hoping that he didn't punk out in this situation, because he could have just like faltered and just fell out and just laid there, I guess, from all the panic and anxiety. But he held his own. Splinter showed up this entire time when he needed to. And so I was like, yeah, he's a stickler, but whenever he needs to activate, he does.
And what do you think about the humans coming together with the mutants to take them down?
hey, change of heart. Everyone needs one. I wasn't.
You didn't like it. It don't seem like
Sure.
you were really feeling it. Why didn't? Why wasn't you? Why wasn't you? Because I can tell. Why didn't you?
They just had a change of heart too quickly. I don't know, because these weren't the same people from the beginning that originally saw him. So it's like, I just feel like they should have probably had the same reaction. Just seeing it in person and being that close to it, I would have spazzed out a little bit.
I mean, okay, so I hear you, but we got this rat next to me who just laying on the ground versus this fly that's destroying buildings coming towards
I'm sure lesser of two evils. I get it completely. Completely. I get it.
But you know how I took that though, Crystal? Because at first I was like you. I'm like, initially I was like, okay, this is a little cheesy. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, like I think that the lesson there for Splinter and for Superfly was that all humans don't think the same. I think they were basing like their interactions and thinking that, okay, and I guess you could say for like, people in general, that like just because one person treated you this way doesn't mean everyone. So like in that situation, I took that as like the lesson for Superfly and Splinter, that like not all the humans are bad,
for sure.
So that's how I took that. No, because I was with you. I was
agree
like,
with y'all
a little cheesy.
I agree with you completely.
Crystal, would you been out there like helping them?
No.
Against Superfly? Yeah, me neither. I would have been. Yeah, me neither.
I'm
going the opposite way.
Y'all got it. I'm gonna go back to the house. It seems to be in Times Square. I'm gonna just go home. Yeah, figure it out. I'll come back tomorrow.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Jason, you would have been out there?
Right.
Yeah. I would have been. Yeah, I would have been.
Jason want to be in the front lines of everything. Like, no.
My only thing I gotta do is take this Walmart set to the people at the Ninja Turtles at the top. Yeah.
Jason, you ain't got powers.
You make it seem like the top is a creature that's alive.
The mutants was helping.
Jason, but you ain't got powers.
The mutants helped me though.
Still, but if they throwing cars,
do you think your insurance will cover that?
He's gonna hurt himself. That's okay. It's fine.
Jason just wants some mutant ass bat to come pick him up and fly him in the air. He's like, get me! I got the bag. That's what Jason wants to do.
Y'all not adventurous enough for me, man.
I am adventurous, but not if they throwing cars and you got creatures. Like that's what
danger.
I gotta check out.
I don't know.
But the man, he gets the bag back to the Ninja Turtles, and I like the way they're basically like an alley-oop, like misdirect as they got their way to the hole of the well, which they finally drop the concoction in there, and then of course I don't know, did it kill him? Did it make him small? I mean, I don't remember seeing him after they did that. Am I tripping?
I thought he exploded.
Yeah, Superfly.
He didn't die because he was there at the end. I think it just exploded all the other creatures that were on him, and I think it just reverted him back to a fly. So I think the explosion was all the other animals that were on him, but I don't think he died though.
Okay, and then of course, at this point the people love the Ninja Turtles. They're basking in the joy of this win, and they go back. They go back to the house. They go back to the house, which I guess this was. What you guys? What you say, Jazz?
Jason, what house?
They go back to the sewer.
Home.
Jazz,
I go back to the
pipe. People call apartments houses, even though it's maybe they mean home.
Sewage.
It's their home.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I am. They live in the sewage.
You can't beat them up, Jazz. You can't talk about their home.
Yes, I can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can. Sewage.
Jazz a hater. She a hater. They done saved New York, and you reminded them they live in a sewer.
I don't live in New York. Like what?
Jazz would literally be a Ninja Turtle. She said if she had power, she'd be stealing. Like you are a Ninja Turtle.
No, look. If I had powers, I wouldn't be broke.
I wish you all that.
And I'm not gonna be working. So
they don't work, and they ain't broke. They all right. They just in the sewer. That's it.
Nah, that's broke. You live in the sewer, you broke.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not true. That's not. Whoa. Broke is a mindset. Broke is a mindset. What do you? That is a social construct.
They see roaches riding on turds on their way out
That's a no.
their
That's that.
Oh,
But
they definitely
that's normal to them.
Jason, why do they got to steal for?
because they broke.
Because people don't accept them as people.
Because they ain't got no money.
They ain't got people don't accept them. I mean, if you wait. Hold on, wait.
They would have to get into the life of crime.
If I didn't have to spend no money, I wouldn't either. I'd steal everything. That was just if I just knew how, I'd steal everything. Why would I spend? Why am I spending my money if I ain't got to?
I mean, they doing all that and they still listen. I want to hate on their living arrangements, but they doing all that and they do live in a sewer, with sewage water, So like they not balling. They could do a little bit better.
Literal shit is down there. So, yes.
But of course, we know Splinter. He then allows them to mingle with the humans on the surface world. Allows them to go to school. He but he takes in all the other mutants. And it's not that he runs the entire sewer chain, but he takes in the other mutants. What you guys say, Jet?
I mean, he was down there first.
he was in a section of it. You know how big the sewer is?
They better go to another city. Better go to the Jersey sewage.
They gotta leave. They can't even go to Queens. They gotta go to a whole nother city.
I said what I said. Said what I said.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
If they wasn't family, they gotta go somewhere else. But they family, so they can stay there.
Well, technically, they are kind of all family though.
They cousins.
Yeah.
So they do that. Of course, Splinter, he finally finds love. Was that like a fly or a bug or something?
I think was it a roach or something?
Some
sort of bug. It was an ugly looking bug.
A roach would make sense because his best friend before he got mutated was a roach. He saw it die in front of him.
I mean, it'd be like that, man. It'd be like that. But that was, I guess that was the end of the movie itself. There is a post credit. It just shows them going to school, and just getting, I guess, assimilated with the culture there. And people are very open to them. As you see, they welcome them into the school. And it ends when they're in the prom, which is, that was her whole point in making sure the prom wasn't, which like at 15, why are you thinking about the prom? That was a bigger thing for me. Like at 15, like who thinks about the prom at 15?
I wasn't. Like I really ain't think about it to senior year really like that. I went as a junior, but it wasn't. I just went with a friend.
I didn't go. I wasn't that guy, so I went as a senior. As a senior at 15, you went to the prom.
Sophomore.
I went to junior. The junior. Well, I went to prom 2 years. I didn't go 15. No.
Okay.
Yeah, me neither. Did you, Jazz?
I went 2 years, but I think some sophomores were able to go to prom if they got invited.
Yeah, that's how it was. The North Carolina thing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. But of course they're at the prom, them kicking it and hanging out, and then of course we see Cynthia still watching. She's still looking. And they said we gotta call our guy in, and we see Shredder is coming. Which before the movie even came out, they announced a TV show, and part 2. I don't know where this movie's sitting today as far as in sales, but I know it wasn't doing great, which I hated. It wasn't, but I don't know. I'm not sure what the disconnect was with this, but hopefully it goes out because I felt it was a very good movie. But that was the end of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What was it? Massacre Mayhem?
Mutant Mayhem.
Mutant Mayhem. There we go. But Crystal, was it good though?
It was. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You seem kind of shocked to say that.
Friday, because I usually be on here like, It was like, I can give this a real solid yes. I enjoyed it. And I saw it in 3D. Great experience.
Chris, what about you?
I thought it was great. I definitely thought it was good. Like I really enjoyed myself. Like Crystal said, the trailer, I thought the trailer was fire. So I went in there with, pretty, decent expectations, but I thought this is a great movie. And kind of like you, I just looked it up. The movie is sitting at 123 million on a $70 million budget. So that's not great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's not great. So I was actually
Mhm.
surprised that it got greenlit for a sequel. I mean, it turned a profit, but maybe they're chalking that up to a competitive summer because even movies like Indiana Jones didn't do as well. Transformers, so maybe they're chalking up to that. But I hope this doesn't get the Power Rangers 2017 treatment. Don't know how y'all feel about it, but I love that movie, and I was mad that it didn't get a
Don't
sequel.
talk
Shaking
about
your head.
don't talk about don't talk about
I'm
that, bro.
sorry. My bad. I'm
Don't talk
sorry.
about that, bro.
I'm
Don't
sorry.
talk about
I
that, bro.
apologize. Well,
That
I'll just
bitch went
focus
off
on
with
this.
Tommy. That bitch went off with Tommy coming. Don't talk about this shit, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to strike a nerve, but yeah. Hopefully this movie does get
Don't
I think
apologize.
I like I
hopefully it
like
does
I
get that
like
second one.
I like that. I do. I would just to piggyback. I do like that. The guy that played Billy, the black guy.
Uh-huh.
Um, I really in anything that he's in, I'm probably gonna watch it just based off him. R.J.
Mhm.
Cyler, I think that's his name.
I think that's how you
Like,
pronounce it. Yeah.
he's a really dope actor. I love that he was
He
in
is.
The Harder They Fall. I liked his role in that. He did a great job in that ambulance, something like emergency. He did a great job in emergency, but I mean I that when I went into it, I was thinking something completely different from what
Yeah.
I got, and I was just like, "Oh, this is some bullshit."
Yeah.
But he definitely has the range, and he was also in the Scream TV show.
He was. I was about to say that.
He was the,
Totally
he was
different role.
the first black lead of that.
Hmm.
So that was dope to see, and Kiki Palmer was on there too. So that
Yep.
was
Kiki
dope.
Palmer and Biggie's son,
Biggie's
the lightest
son,
skin. Yep.
they got
He
his
was in
ass out
there.
of here, but yeah, he was in
Yep.
there.
Tiger.
Tiger,
Random.
yeah, Tiger
Random
was in.
cast. Very random cast. But I like that. That was a little guilty pleasure of mine.
It was dope. It was dope. Jazz, was it good though?
Yes, I really enjoyed this film. I didn't have any expectations going into it. It was a lot of fun. So shout out to the Turtles.
Yeah,
Shout
man,
out
it
to
was.
them.
And yeah, like I said, the budget. Like I said, so this is where I'm a. So when it comes to the budget of it, I want to
Hmm.
know how much. I don't know what their promo budget was because
Mm,
considering everything that's going on now with like the strike and whatnot, I don't know how
yeah.
that's working. Like the only, like you see the previous movies, a lot of them had like crazy
Hmm.
promo budgets and like people are barely make like squeezing out that green like they getting
Hmm.
into it. So I don't, like I said, with this one here, like I said before the movie even was seen, it was already greenlit for part two. Like it was, that had already happened. But then I also have to think the trust in Seth Rogen, and just considering what I'm seeing here, more than like typically it doubles whenever they make a second. So
Hmm.
I think it'll stay. Hopefully they stay in line with what they have here. I know they typically try to go a little crazier
Yeah.
with it. I still think Into the Spider Verse. I think that is still one of the most amazing or most creative visually like
Yeah.
cartoons. But I do say since that movie, people have really been challenging themselves on the animation side of things.
Hmm.
So I
Mhm.
appreciate that, which like I love animation, so I do
Hmm.
appreciate a lot of things that's going on there. But the next one is before we get into it, did anybody have any thoughts, last minute comments, or anything about the movie that they wanted to touch on, talk about, or address?
I do have a
I
question.
did. No,
So
Jazz, please, you go
oh,
first.
okay. So I'll just say like because Jason, you mentioned Shredder. How did y'all feel with Shredder not being our main villain? Because I think, and I could be wrong, I feel like I saw a few people that were had an issue with it not being Shredder since he's obviously their biggest villains. Like, how do y'all feel about this movie not introducing him or him being the main villain for the first movie?
I'd like to don't like. Oftentimes we go into a movie with the expectation of something. Like, give me something different and fuck like that is so wild saying life is like fuck me up, but like like if you can do a great job without what I know, and then you can introduce that later, it's just like, oh shit, like I knew about this person, and now they not here now. They finna come next, and this blew me away. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Like, but I think like but I feel like with the stuff that I like, oftentimes you can play with it a lot of times. Like you look at like um just use my two favorite. You can Batman or you can say Spider Man. Like they have a crazy villain. So anytime you can continue that story and you can add somebody else, I'm always like, okay, can you do it without? Let's say you do it without Joker, or can you do it without Green Goblin and still make it be important or make it as important to me? And then you see with John, Vulture, how you made a C level villain look like something important in that, or Mysterio. Like these, I'm not accounting for these, but these things are something I really enjoy. So that's me. Crystal.
I just had was Shredder, not Shredder, was Superfly a villain in the like other movies and the comics, or is this the first time we've seen Superfly?
That's a great question. I don't know.
In the
I
movies,
don't remember him in a live action.
In the
Yeah.
movies, I can't think about the movies, but like animation, I'm for sure. Cowboy and Bebop are the most known outside of Shredder, but typically they're you know about them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know about Cowboy and Bebop, like
did.
because they typically be with Shredder, which that was a different for me as well. And I will be honest, I did intend to watch the originals to see, just catch the differences and things like that. What would have been different, but yeah.
But just to piggyback off what Jason said and Jazz's question, I mean, honestly, I was cool with it. Like, you don't always have to have your big gun in the first movie, and I feel like if you can write, like, and have strong writing, any villain could conceivably be good. And like Jason has said, like, with Vulture and Homecoming, even in Batman Begins, that was Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul. And also I'm thinking Man of Steel, he fought Zod and not Lex Luthor. So like I feel like you don't necessarily need to bring out your A-list villain too soon. And I feel like I guess the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, they did with Green. Am I getting that right? With Green Goblin in the
It's Green
first one?
Goblin.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's been years since I've seen it. So I guess that's an exception, but I don't feel like you need to bring your top villain in the first movie, and you might be pulling out your Joker a little bit too soon. So if you're planning on making a franchise and having sequels.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. So after that, of course, we're going to our Link of Thrones section. This is the section where we pick a voice actor from this project, whether it's something that they've been in or they're about to be in, and we put our listeners on. I guess we will start with our Leonardo of today, Miss Crystal. Who is your Link of Thrones?
So I'm glad I'm going first. Shaman Brown Jr.
He
played Michelangelo.
My bad. You got it. Go ahead.
I don't got it, actually. I think you got it. Shaman Brown Jr. is in The Chi, and his character is Papa. The end. Thanks.
His friend is in something coming up in some recent I just seen too. Whoever his homeboy is.
Sure. I have no idea.
It's only got one homeboy, right? He was getting a whooping. Well, when I watched it, he was getting a whooping. He kept getting in trouble in school.
That one. Yeah. Kevin.
Yeah. I hear The Chi is doing pretty well right now, though. I know the music has been amazing because they drop a clip every night. Whenever it plays, they drop a clip. Chris, sir, who is your Link of Thrones?
So yeah, I might be mispronouncing her last name, but Rose Byrne. She played. We've been talking about X-Men a couple times. She was in. No, not in Insidious, but she has a very. Well, she was in that, but actually, she was in X-Men First Class. She was Moira McTaggart. So with us talking about referencing X-Men a couple times, she was also in that film, as well as many others.
That's a dope callback. Appreciate that, sir. My co-host Jasmine. Who you got?
I'm gonna do I might mess up her name. I'm definitely gonna mess up her name. Allll. Y'all know she was
we know.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
She was in The Bear, which is a series I pretty much jumped on late. Jason was judging me.
I was late too.
But she was judging me when she finished, and I was like, I still ain't started it. But She has been popping up everywhere. She recently just had a show, I believe, Bottoms, that just released. Seeing
it's not out yet. Is it out yet? It's not out yet, right? Bottom's not out yet.
If it's not out,
one of the I think it's out because I believe Matt on Instagram, who we follow, just did a review on it. So
damn,
yeah, but she's been popping up a lot. So
what grade he give it?
I believe it was a B.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't an F. It was a good grade. So
okay.
Got you. And I guess
its full release was today.
Okay. Cam, that's okay. Got you. I'm gonna ride with Miss Maya Rudolph. Class act. Great actress. That's Minnie Riperton's daughter as well. I'm gonna put that out there. I'm gonna roll with Bridesmaids. I just recently watched it. And that's wild. How she was in there. Definitely love that movie. What you say, Chris?
Oh, no, I didn't have anything. I'm just I didn't realize she was in Bridesmaids. That's a
yeah, she was.
That's a good one.
She was the wife.
Rose Byrne is in there too.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay. I feel like maybe I've seen.
She wasn't the
the
evil, but she was the friend that was taking the main girl's stuff. Yeah.
I feel like I've only seen bits and pieces of that movie now.
You should definitely check that out. That's a nice fun watch.
Word.
Definitely a dope watch, man. But yeah, man, this has been fun. Definitely a great conversation. Got the gang back together for this one. Crystal, is there anything that you're doing you want to let us know about or promote while we have you on here today, young lady? No,
I have nothing to promote yet.
Where can we?
Things could happen, but nothing yet.
I thought you may have been on tour 50 Cent or something, but obviously not. That's how we got you here tonight. Where can we find you, ma'am?
On the socials, I am happy in nappy, 2 N's _ happy and nappy _ I do that every time.
And Mr. Chris, how about you, sir? Anything you like to promote, support, or put yourself out there?
Yeah. So I do give my thoughts on movies and TV shows. I blog at Crazy Scary Cool. So if you want to check that out, just seeing like my thoughts and reviews. Yeah, TLC. I love one of my Crazy Sexy Cool.
I was about to say it, but thank you for my thunder. You got it.
Oh no! I knew you had it, but
I'm glad he did.
I know you do. I know you did.
Steal it some more.
And we steal it today. Jazz says she steal it. She got powers. We just steal it from each other. Jazz, don't make that face. You done said that multiple times. You just said that we thieving. We scammers.
I'm letting you get your shit up. Your stuff.
Okay.
I'm definitely a scammer.
But yeah, so I just giving my thoughts about movies and TV shows. Looking to start a YouTube channel about sports, mainly horror movies, but maybe other movies and shows. And then you can follow me on IG. Let me say Instagram. I said that to someone and they acted like they didn't know what I was talking about. And apparently that's an old people thing to say that. So let me say Instagram. So on at Chris LaFleur. Yeah, I didn't know that. So, but apparently it is. And same handle for Twitter. If y'all want to follow me, that's cool if you do. If not, that's cool too.
Got you. We appreciate you guys for joining us again. This was episode 65. Jesus, Jazz, we're getting on up there, sis.
I know. We're gonna be at 69 soon.
I know.
Wait to bring that one up. It's another.
I know you can't wait to get in that position.
She is eager.
She can't wait.
All right. Y'all been doing good.
What Chris be saying? I will get you in that position, tell you every which way but loose.
Y'all were doing so good. We at the end. Focus.
That's how you end. That's how you finish. That's how you finish. That's the best way to finish.
Every episode, Jazz reminds me we're close to 69.
That's she been waiting for 69. She know what she said 69 and 39. She been waiting so long for this one.
She can't wait.
What episode was 39, Jason?
It don't matter. It don't matter.
It wasn't said then. It wasn't said.
Did you have any any closing remarks or comments for the people, Jazz?
I just want to say thank you to Crystal and Chris for joining us for another episode. We definitely appreciate y'all. The discussions are always fun and hilarious. And shout out to everybody new and for those returning. Jason, what are you doing? Like,
Nothing.
Oh,
No, nothing.
If anybody wants to know what I'm referring to, just check out our YouTube because Jason just doing wild stuff. So.
Man, but yeah, just just to piggyback on what Jazz said, appreciate y'all for listening, joining, chatting with us on Tuesday when we chat, going through the YouTube, going through the Twitter, also our podcast community. We appreciate y'all as well. Like I said, if y'all would like to join, you can hit myself up, hit Jazz up. We can always down to put y'all in there. No, not you. She said no, not her. But yeah, no, hit us up. We definitely always welcome to have more people. Like I said, we chatting. We're doing a lot more now. As far as with just playing with different things and features. Like I said, we're not going to get to every movie, but we have began to do one-off reviews. Yeah, so you'll check out our TikTok. I think that's where we're putting those at. They may go to our other socials as well. We shall see how that works out. But we appreciate y'all. Again, I am Jason, one part of the Was It Good Though podcast. This is episode 65, Mutant Mayhem. We appreciate y'all for listening. Deuces.
Cheers.